What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess, doing the mostest, Kivanshi, and we are past the halfway point, y'all. Season 1, episode 4 of Earth Abides, titled Predators. Now, this episode is 52 minutes, not quite as long as last week, but honestly, it is a really good laid out episode, and we're back to like the setting up of things, okay? But before we get into it, just want to let y'all know that we have the same director from episode 3, and she did an amazing job, Rachel Leiterman. And this episode's teleplay is by Evan Hart and Kyle Steven. So I'm gonna just get right into it because y'all know I be rambling, but I'm gonna save the rambling for the end. So previously on Earth Abides, the kids are all grown up. We were at Heather's birthday party. Everything is going well. It seems like all of Ish's like bad feelings about Ezra, Molly, and Jean were just bad feelings, and it looks as though Jean maybe wasn't necessarily going through withdrawals so much as she was just really depressed and potentially severely malnourished. We ended up having a death in the previous episode as well. Lucky died. We don't really know how old he is when we first met him in episode 1, but we can ascertain that he was at least 3 or 4 years old. So for the family to still get an additional 14 years, and Ish, you know, saying like, you were my first friend, once like the whole world just went to pieces, it was just really sad, but it was nice closure. And I mean, Lucky did what dogs do. They go off alone and they pass away peacefully. And, you know, but we grieved and we moved on. And as we're moving on and things are kind of situating and good to go, a lion shows up in their backyard and is getting ready to jump on Joey when Ish orders Evie to get him and go into the house, and Ish ends up getting mauled by the lion. And for the first time ever, we actually hear Evie speak. So where are we now? Y'all, Ish, it's touch and go. It is touch and go. He has gash marks all over his body, bite marks. His face is scarred up. His entire body is just deep reds, purples, blues, and it is not looking good. So much so that at one point he stops breathing and they have to do CPR and they have to do a BVM. So the bag valve mask, and this is where you're breathing for them while they do the CPR so they can try to get his heart going again. And it is just really frantic. You have Molly, you have Ezra, you have Emma there, you have Heather, and everybody is just like, honestly, I will say, even with Heather being scared, you know, she's 13, she was calmer than you would expect a normal child to be. And I work in medical, so I would definitely say like you could see and feel the franticness of the scene, but you know that these are things that they prepare for. So even though life has been chill for all of these years, they are a family and they are a community that prepares. So Ish ends up breathing again and everything is good to go, and Emma looks at Molly and, you know, she thanks her and she's like, I need you here and I need him to be okay, but I got some business to take care of. So everybody leaves and Molly just starts crying and she whispers like, I'm sorry, like I lied to you. And it's just like, wait a minute, what? But while it's happening, Emma, listen, Mama Bear, Wifey Bear does not play. Emma got that rifle and Emma is out there. She up in that backyard. She up in them woods because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you. And what ends up happening, she hears a little twig break and she looking at the lion looking at her, and we having a good old-fashioned Western stare down, and the lion like, what? And Emma said, bet. And pop, pop, like boom, done, because she don't play by her man, and she don't play by her dinner. So good luck to you. Like, it just is what it is. And in that moment, now she's able to really feel the gravity of the fact that everything that Ish did, I mean, he jumped out in front of them and chose to die for his family. And she's feeling this thing where it's like he did that and he also might die. She even said to him in the hospital before leaving, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do without you. And this is coming from somebody who was on her own before she even met him. And this just kind of tells you, you know, I feel like destiny and choice plays a part in here, but it goes back to episode 2, like I was talking about. Like, they didn't just build a relationship because it was just like, oh, you're a man, I'm a woman, and we're the only ones around, let's, you know, have some kids together. They learned each other, they began trusting each other, and they genuinely love each other. And it was a choice to stay that way and to continue to put forth the effort to be in love. So this ain't just like who I'm gonna be with if you're not here. Like, what am I going to do? Like, you are my person. And again, just this love story is it's so incredibly beautiful. So we're back in the hospital, and quick shout out to the special effects team and VFX and the makeup department. Ish's wounds look insane. He is so messed up, but he's finally coming to. And, you know, Molly is there, and she's just kind of like super relieved. And he's like, you know, thank you for saving my life. And she was like, look, I honestly don't even know how you're alive right now, because I am a liar. I did not finish medical school. I literally dropped out, and I just thought, like, if I just tell everybody that I was bigger than what I am, then I don't know, maybe like the lie would like stick. But watching you sit here and me, everybody's looking at me and counting on me to lead this, and you could have died in my presence. And the whole time I'm like a phony. And he was like, listen, don't be hard on yourself. The lie has finally caught up to the skill. You had no choice. And because you did it, because you weren't in a boasting situation, what you actually learned and what you applied came together. You could actually live the truth of the fact that you are a doctor. You are the doctor for our community. And right now, this is not a space or a time for any self-doubt. And yes, I could have died, but I did not. And so they share that moment. And this one's also really nice too, because if you remember when they first came around, it was really a little bit of like bumping heads, a little bit of dick swinging contest between Molly and Ish. Like, she has a very strong presence about her, and she is a leader, even in the dynamic of her marriage with Jean and Ezra. And it doesn't even look like Ezra's not being like, I'm the man of the relationship. Like, there is a true shared polyamorous relationship amongst the three. And then their family plus Jorge and Maurine plus Ish and Emma, everybody kind of maneuvers in and out of their roles. So they have like primary roles, but when things are going down, they definitely know how to shift and maneuver and pick up the role of somebody else if they're out of hide for whatever reason. So they've built a grand community. So now we're moving forward 3 years later. So we're on year 17. And y'all, I cannot take it. I cannot take it. Heather's 16. Rafe is 17. Alex is 13. Joey should be like 11 or 10. And it's hard on me. Because it's only 6 episodes, so I just feel like their lives are flashing before my eyes, and I'm just like, oh my god, my babies need to stop growing. But in this time, like, Joey is a diver. like, the kids are out here helping to contribute to the survival of this little community that they built. And they've actually expanded their grounds as well. So where they're fenced in at and everything like that, it's very much covered to where you would have to open it and it's like a driveway in, and then you're kind of like coming behind some bushes and stuff like that. So they're a little bit more inconspicuous, but it seems as though that they've mapped out like enough space to allow other people in if they choose to do so. But one of the things that I'm noticing in this is, I remember some people online on Twitter was like, where's Alex? Where's Alex? Where's Alex? Now, I think we didn't see Alex in the previous episodes because they were getting ready to do a very quick actor change. But I also think that it was a really good setup for this episode too, because we see Ish across 2 episodes now spending so much time with Joey. And in this episode in particular, you finally see Alex looking in a way that shows that he's jealous or that he feels some kind of neglect towards their relationship. What's going on with these other kids? Y'all, Heather and Rafe are out in the city and they're exploring all of the things that her dad told her about the old world. It's the old world now, y'all. She wants to go out and see it for herself. And her and Rafe devise a plan where they were going to go out and discover things and just try to find a life outside of the community. And then they promise that they'll be back before the winter time. And Heather and Rafe are a couple, y'all. Like, their situation so far, I don't know if it's due to circumstance. In these types of environments, it's not uncommon for 2 kids to grow up and then realize like, oh, wait a minute, I think I have like deeper feelings for you. Let's explore that. I definitely don't think this relationship was forced upon them by anybody, any of the adults, like in a cult-like way to try to continue breeding and bringing more kids into the world. It just seems like a genuine relationship that kind of budded both out of circumstance and maybe a little bit of that Emma and Ish magic going on, but they're prepared. The parents are a little bit scared. Ish is a lot scared, and Emma has to talk him down, y'all. She has to talk him down because he's just like, this is my baby, like this is my firstborn, like what if something happens? And she's like, listen, remember what you've always told the kids. I took a chance on you, you took a chance on me, and we have to allow them the space to take a chance on themselves and take a chance on their own discoveries. And you are the reason she has this wonder and she has this imagination. So let her go out and figure out what that is for herself, and let's not get in the way. But all of the parents seem to be supportive, and the siblings are sad as they would be. But it's like, I think, yeah, the only thing I can compare it to is The Walking Dead, but like obviously more calm. But Emma still gets her the gun. You remember when you're supposed to do it. You remember what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to stand. You remember all this other stuff. The kids already know how to drive, so they've already known how to do these survival skills. And at this point, I'm pretty sure Heather is damn near a nurse because you helped save their father's life 3 years prior. And, you know, Rafe is there, and, you know, he grew up with Molly and them anyway, so of course he's gonna know all of those skills too. But like in The Walking Dead, when the kids were like the parents were very hesitant for the kids to go out and do anything alone, without at least one adult supervising them. So it's kind of like that, except a little bit more calm and a little bit more trusting and a bit more stressful, because the whole time you're thinking like, damn, like send Jorge, like send Maurine and Jorge. Like maybe the kids don't want their own parents hovering over them, but send 2 people that, you know, aren't responsible for their creation to at least protect them. So I felt like this was a huge leap of faith for them as adults, and I wanted to throw up. So I'm pretty sure I know that they wanted to throw up as well. So anyways, we're moving along in the episode, and there's no more water, y'all. The soil is dry. No water is coming out of the pipes. So Joey, Ezra, and Ish go down to the city so they can look at the water line, and it's cracked, busted open, ain't no water going through. And so while they're trying to figure out like how to fix this or how they're going to survive and move forward, there's like a caravan of vehicles up on the road. Ish is like, hell nah, get y'all stuff, get in the car. And you hear this voice calling like, hey, like, and he's like, hell nah, get in the car. So they go back and, you know, same thing, lock this shit down. Maurine, Jean, get these kids up in the house. Like, we ain't finna be doing all this. Emma, get the gun. Girl, we are ready in case they follow us back. Of course, they followed them back. It's a group of a lot of people, and they are led by, let me give you his name, Charlie. So Charlie and his woman Perry, and they make a whole bunch of other introductions, but up until this juncture, they're just like extra people in the group, but it's a lot of them. So they're traveling through. Ish don't trust it. I don't trust it, but y'all know how Emma is. You know, she wants to give people a chance. And apparently when they were in Nevada, they had found a drill for the earth to dig up water. So they already know like water sources is scarce. So they're like, look, you give us a place to stay for a few nights and we'll dig a hole and we can help make you a well. So he's like, you know, Charlie's like, cool. It's just like, cool. So they let them in, they're feeding them, everybody getting to know them, and it seems like everybody's having a really good time, but the vibes that Ish is feeling towards Charlie is just not settling down whatsoever. So we have in episode 2, I believe, no, or 3, where Ezra and them come along and Ish has his suspicions, but then when they're all eating and everything around the campfire, you can see him kind of relaxing and really allowing his intuition and his discernment to feel that these people aren't a threat. Here, it's like a similar thing. Everybody's fellowshipping. Everybody's kind. The other adults are playing with the kids. They're asking all of these different questions. They're showing them different things. But Ish, there is no, his discernment and his gut is telling him, no, this is a false sense of security. He brings it up to Emma and they kind of have like a little argument about it because she's like, look, you've been wrong before. What makes you think that you're not wrong now? Like, they're helping us. We're being kind to them. Like, let's just relax. Like, please relax. And Ish is so wound up and just so bottled up what he feels about it that when Emma even goes to flirt with him, yes, y'all, she love her man, y'all, her man. When she goes to flirt with him, he was like, I'm not in the mood. Sir, at one point, you weren't staying off of her. We literally had to spray you with a spray bottle, but now you're not in the mood. So that just lets you know like where Ish's head is and where his gut is. And y'all already know when you have a bad feeling, you can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't do nothing. You just feel like you want to throw up the entire time. But this whole time, everything just appears to be going well, okay? And by the time we get to the end, there's a couple of questions that's raised. So Jean is outside and Charlie comes up to her. He offers her a cigarette. But before he comes to her, she says out loud, you know, Rafe, when are you coming back to me? So in this time frame, we don't necessarily get time of like months or anything like that. We just get year time frames. But we know that the kids said that they were going to come back by winter, like before it becomes winter. So I'm assuming that up until this point, we are maybe expecting them in the next few days or even a couple of weeks. Otherwise, why is she out there vocalizing when are they coming back? And Charlie catches her and, you know, he's going down memory lane talking about a concert that she did from one of her songs and her second albums and one of the most epic things that he saw her do. But it's laced with a lot of flirting and he knows that she is married. He knows the dynamic of things. He is really scoping things out in a kind of skeezy and sleazy little way. And Jean, she may look frail, but she is not an idiot. And she's like, you know what? Thank you for the memories. Thank you for the cigarette. But I'm about to go back in the house with my man and my woman. you have a nice night. And as she's walking by, Jorge's like, are you good? And she was like, yeah, I'm good. And he was like, everything will go back to normal when we get the water. So they end up getting water, and it's spraying everywhere, and everybody's happy, and everybody's dancing, and it's just a great time. They can finally take a shower. Everybody's joking, and they're doing all these other things. And we get voiceover Ish, and he is just not feeling it. So he walks up to Charlie, and he was like, we had a deal. You was gonna get us water, and we're gonna give you all the gas, the fuel, food, everything that you need to be on your way. And Charlie's like, actually, I think I might like it here. And Ish is just like, we basically let the enemy into our den, and everybody is charmed by him, and he's so charismatic. And now I am on the outside of everything that they feel, and I fear what's coming next. So there's that. Season 1, episode 4 of Earth Abides. Now, this is the shortest one since the very first episode, but again, it's a setup episode to something else. We have been waiting this entire time for the other shoe to drop. And just when you thought it was just going to be the lion, or that Ish would be badly injured to the point where he's incapable of doing anything else, it created room for a sneak attack for this new group to come in. And Charlie is not acting like someone who wants to share. He's giving off the vibes of somebody who wants to take over. And to me, I wrote in my notes that he reminds me of the governor, season 2 of The Walking Dead, where he puts out this air of charm and this air of confidence where all of the people believe in him and buy into whatever it is that he's selling him. But the one person he could not bullshit was Michonne. She knew he was selling a pipe dream. And in this same space, Ish knew it was a pipe dream. And this time, unfortunately, Ish and Emma are still on the opposite sides of how they feel about him. When it came to Ezra, Molly, and Jean, they kind of came to an agreement. But this one, and he told her, this is different. This is different. And Emma's like, oh, like all of it is different. Like whatever, like dude, get out of my face. Like you've been wrong. Okay, and you could be wrong again. And I don't know if because they're older, maybe Emma just wants more. Maybe she wants more because a part of her is out in the world without her. But it just seemed a little bit unlike Emma to even consider that Ish may be right. He's acting completely different than he did when Ezra and them came along earlier. But this is the first time we kind of see them not on the same page, because even after that conversation where she's telling him to let it go, he did not let it go. And while they're all dancing in the rain and stuff like that, Charlie is literally telling him, I'm not going anywhere. And so now Ish physically, from the attack, he's not as physically capable as he once was. And so now you have this new alpha, okay, showing up, challenging your alpha. And we know how Ish feels about his family. We know, he jumped in front of a freaking lion to save his family. He will die for them. But what will this standoff look like in episode 5? Who knows? But I definitely believe that we are going to be dealing in episode 5. I want to say that episode 5 is going to be more slowed down. I think we're going to be sitting in a time frame for a little bit. I don't think we're going to do years jumps that soon, because I don't think that they would fall under whatever Charlie's intentions are for multiple years. I don't think that they would do that. Emma's way too smart for that. I just don't see that happening. But what I do see happening is things will slowly start to change. I think we'll still have Emma not believing Ish for a little while until she witnesses something. And I think that Heather and Rafe are going to come back in the middle of whatever that something is, and there will be a fight from there inside of the community that Ish and Emma built between Charlie's people and Ish and Emma's people, and they are severely outnumbered. So it will really come from a place of wit, and unfortunately I think the children are going to be involved. But I think that Evie is like a silent, Evie is just giving me like sleeper cell vibes. I do know that Charlie is kind of eyeing her in a way, which makes me think that Perry is like the main girl, but the other women, I think he does something with them. I just feel like his group is very cult-like, and he's gotten them to believe in him and his ideals, and I think that they maybe abandoned some of their own morals. Maybe not all of them, but I believe that he gave them something to hold on to. They will follow him to the end, and that includes destroying and or bringing about permanent harm to the community. So there's that, guys. Season 1, episode 4, Earth Abides, Predators. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave comments in the comment box below. If you know people who don't want to watch the videos, go ahead and share the link to my Spotify and my Apple Podcast. And you can also find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where I post about so many other things outside of what I talk about on my podcast. And you can find me popping my ish on Twitter at Kivanshi, as well as on Blue Sky at Kivanshi. And y'all, I'm excited for the last 2 episodes. I definitely feel like they're gonna be some heart crushers. I feel like I'm gonna be on the edge of my seat, and I think we're gonna get something come out of complete left field. But y'all tell me what y'all think, because with that, I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next episode.